Rugby World Cup 2023, folks. Ireland and Scotland this weekend. Goodness gracious me. This is a massive, massive clash. This World Cup's had a few games which have been blown out with big score lines, but this is a genuine edge of your seat. Goodness knows what's going to happen. I'm already feeling the blood pressure rising. I don't really have a horse in this race. Ireland against Scotland. I like both these teams. It's a pity that Pool B sucks that it's got so many good teams in it. But anyway, we're going to go through some squads, some stats, recent history predictions, and you guys can let us know your thoughts on how this one's going to go. The recent history is all Ireland. Some of the games are close, some of them not so much. But across the last 5 games, which dates back to 2020, they are all Irish victories. 22-7 this year, 26-5, which is a similar scoreline the year before. There is a close one in 2021, which is 27 points to 24. There's a 19-12 back in 2020. But ultimately, you're looking all the way back to 2017 for the last Scottish win. There were a few guys in that side who are playing this weekend, the likes of Richie Gray, Finn Russell, Hugh Jones, Ali Price was on the bench. But the majority of the Scottish side will not have beaten the Irish guys before. So it's been a wee while. So Ireland go into this one as the number 1 team in the world, having not lost a game, with a virtually unchanged lineup. There's a few changes, so they're big time favourites. Scotland, you are the underdogs. Speaking of the Irish, I mentioned their squad's pretty much unchanged, and that's the way Andy Farrell likes to do it. And I can appreciate it because, I've done the depth charts, and I like to see there's like a plan, some stability. Ireland way lead into the cohesion, the team keeping stable, having faith in the guys. I mean, look at that game at Eden Park that they lost. They named, was it pretty much the exact same team the next week? And look what they did. Like, he's got absolute faith in his players. Same is true here. Porter, Sheehan, and Furlong, it's almost the same front row, except that Sheehan and Kelleher swap places. I think Sheehan's got a little bit more about him in terms of X factor around the park, so I'm liking Sheehan, but if you play Kelleher, I don't think anyone's going to be complaining. Those guys are both classy operators. Tadhg, Beirne, and Iain Henderson as the second row. A little bit surprising that James Ryan is not starting, but he is on the bench. The question came up in the press conference, is he injured? And he has had a bit of a wrist niggle, but apparently he's 100%, to the point where he was almost taken off Sexton's head at training, which is what Andy Farrell said. So it's just a selection thing. I mean, Hendo's class, James Ryan is class. I'm just used to seeing James Ryan alongside Tadhg Beirne. They complement each other really well. But, I mean, Hendo's a big unit as well. So expect to see him getting stuck in. And then the back row is O'Mahony, Van der Flier, and Caelan Doris. They mentioned that it's Peter O'Mahony's 100th cap. What a phenomenal achievement. Not many players get to do that. And he's been in cracking form. So big congratulations to him. He'll be looking to disrupt the Scottish line-out and get involved with the breakdown, make his tackles. Van der Flier is going to certainly do that. And look out for Caelan Doris and all those post-contact meters. He'll be getting. Gibson-Park and Sexton will look to keep the ball moving at 9 and 10. Same. Bundee, and Garry Ringrose in the midfield. Bundee has been unbelievable. He's in career-best form, surely. He's had the most carries of this Irish side with 53. And for context, the next Irish player has 31. So it's unbelievable. He's also their top clean breaker. So, yeah, he's massive. Hansen and Lowe continue on the wings, and then Keenan is there at fullback. I mean, we've talked a lot about James Lowe's big boot, how Hansen's got a knack of finding a good pass or finding the gap. He's got a pretty big boot on him as well. And then Hugo Keenan, safe as houses at the back. It's a good-looking Irish side, man. Very stable. Kelleher, Kilcoyne, and Finlay Bealham. Same front row replacements, except Kelleher, like I mentioned, is riding the pine this time instead of starting. James Ryan, as I said, dropped to the bench. Jack Conan is now back, which is great news. He'll be looking to add some impact when he comes on as the 3 backs with Murray, Crowley, and Mccloskey. Apparently, Henshaw's got a bit of a hamstring strain, so he is out, and Mccloskey, the big unit that is Mccloskey, is in. Also, apparently, Henderson is very good at maths, so he'll be the one who has to explain it to everyone what the possibilities are for this pool. For Scotland, a lot more changes. Remember, they had Romania last, so it makes sense that they kind of go back to what is more likely their first string team. Pierre Schoeman, George Turner, and Xander Ferguson. That's the all-new front row. And they will absolutely need to get parity at the least at scrum time and try to push for some penalties on their own feed and whatnot. Richie Gray and Grant Gilchrist is the second row, so Richie Gray's back in. Gilchrist continues on. And then Richie, Tadhg, and Dempsey's the back row. Richie's captain, so he's rested in the last game, so back, all good to go. Rory Tadhg is your top tackler for Scotland. He's great at the breakdown. If Hamish Watson can't get into the side, you know he's doing something really well. And then Jack Dempsey will be looking to get some post-contacts meters of his own at number 8. Ali Price and Finn Russell, 9 and 10. Finn Russell's going to need to unlock the Irish defence. It's something they kind of failed to do against South Africa. Like, we know there's a lot of running. There's a lot of attack in this Scottish backline. Finn Russell's going to be key to that. And Ali Price's selection, he kind of retains his spot ahead of White, is maybe a little bit of a surprising one because Ali Price seemed to have fallen down the pecking order, but Gregor Townsend highlighted his passing accuracy and his physicality, giving him the edge in this one. Potentially a wee bit of box kicking as well, because Ali Price is known to do a wee bit of that. Tui Pilotu and Jones are the midfield. Chris Harris, I thought, has been in great form the last few games, but he's kind of unable to break up that combo that these guys have made. And then big Duan van der Merwe on the left wing alongside Darcy Graham. Two of the world's most exciting wingers, plus Blair Kinghorn, I think is getting his 50th cap at the back. Really exciting back three, but again, when we saw them play against South Africa, they were quiet. So, I don't know, man. I look forward to seeing Darcy Graham get himself into some space. He's their top clean break guy, top carrier. Rory Tadhg, I mentioned, top tackler. There's some tries in that back line, but can they get themselves into some space is going to remain a bit of a question. Team stats. Ireland, they love some possession. I think South Africa was the first team this year to get more than 50% possession against Ireland. And even then, it was only 51-49. Like, Ireland like having the ball. But interestingly, Ireland didn't really maul it against South Africa. They'd opted, like, Ireland usually maul it, like, I think 8 times on average. And they mauled it once against South Africa. Against Tonga, they mauled it like 9 times. So, be interesting to see if they back themselves to kind of dominate this Scottish pack at maul time. They also won a huge amount of turnovers. Scotland would have identified that threat that the Irish guys have got at the breakdown because they won 9 turnovers against South Africa. And they also won 9 turnovers against Scotland earlier the year in the Six Nations. So, yes, if you don't look after the ball, Ireland will certainly jump on it and take it from you. Scotland averaging 7 clean breaks a game, man. They are deadly. But they only managed 2 clean breaks against Ireland earlier in the year in the Six Nations, and they managed 3 against South Africa. So when they can't generate that kind of X-factor play, they struggle a wee bit more. They do like an offload. They're averaging 11 offloads a game compared to Ireland's 7, so they do like to chuck it around a bit. And boy, can they break tackles. They are second only to New Zealand this year for the amount of defenders they beat in a game. It was like 32-33. New Zealand were like 34. Most of the teams are in the 20s. So Scotland are a big-time attacking team. How's this one going to go, man? Ireland usually have the wood on them. They go into it as big favourites. 12 points with the bookies and 12 points with the Rugby Forecast algorithm. So Scotland, despite being number 5 in the world, are predicted to go home at the pool stage. But boy, they're going to give it a good crack. It's going to be a massive, massive game. It is on at the Stade de France, so it's a massive stadium. There's going to be a massive crowd. It's going to be loud. Nick Berry is the ref. It's a late kickoff, 9 o'clock over in France, 8 in the morning here in New Zealand. Is absolutely perfect timing. I very much look forward to it. If you're looking for something to do between now and then, check out this guy. Maybe over in China, checking out an abandoned town. It was all ghost town buildings. There was nothing going on, but there was people, and I asked them what was the deal. Why are these buildings all neglected and abandoned? It was a pretty interesting one. I had a look around. 2 cents on tour. Join me for that. Otherwise, let us know your thoughts on the game, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.